For today's video, we have two games for fans of strategy and simulation style games to go and check out, with Desynced and the preview of Reus 2. With Desynced here, please keep in mind that the footage you're seeing is taken from early access and may not represent the current version of the game. This is an automation style title where, stop me if you've heard this one before, but you have crash land on a mysterious alien world, and in order to get yourself off of it, you must use the power of automation, machines, and lots of resource moving in order to do it. The game itself kind of focuses a little bit differently compared to the macro nature of Factorio or Dyson Sphere program, in that in this one, everything starts at the micro, or shall I say modular layer. How this works is that instead of you building specific units and structures that perform specific tasks, everything can be equipped with modules. Those are things that you're kind of seeing in the bottom left hand corner where it says like SII, and you'll see other ones throughout this video. Each module comes in a different size, and whatever module you attach to a unit or structure defines its functionality. If you want a factory to produce kind of low tier resources or low tier goods, get a basic constructor or a basic kind of materializer, put it on building, and you're done. You need a new mining bot, get a mining laser, put on one of your drones, bing bang boom, it's now a mining bot for you. And as per, again, the norms of the genre, you'll need to collect lots of resources, refine them into better stuff, and get lots of upgrades along the way. Like any good logistic style game, it definitely falls into that Zen-like state of watching your factory slowly but surely encroach and grow all across the planet. There is combat in the game, but at least at the start it seems relatively benign. As long as you have a unit that has a defense laser on it, you're pretty much set. Research will, of course, unlock new upgrades, new things to worry about, and more of your goals will become apparent. I like what I'm seeing in this one from a logistic standpoint. Being able to, again, completely customize how the buildings and units are going to do stuff is a great touch. I do have a few issues. It does make the GUI and general play a little bit more cluttered compared to Factorio and Dyson Sphere. Dyson Sphere's, again, like major MO was being very easy to jump into and start building things. Here, it's a lot more trickier than that, as you'll need to manage kind of the different logics of where goods will go, make sure modules are set up accordingly, and there will be, or you can, start setting up conditional loops, if-thens, and stuff like that for even more control over your base and your various units. It can, again, as another norm of the genre, be admittedly slow at the start to get the ball rolling. You really need to get a lot of the basic resources automated and coming in very fast before you can really start branching out. The world is interesting to explore. There's these kind of like mini-game puzzles that you can use to get free resources, and there is, suppose, at least from what I'm looking at the tech tree, like a greater goal beyond just like getting off the planet. I'm curious how this game's endgame will differ from that of, say, Factorio or Dyson Sphere's just complete planet automation processes of it. But with that said, Desynced is looking like another very solid take on the genre, and it does enough things interestingly or differently enough that if you are someone who's done all your factory building and Dyson Sphering, then this one may still be worth it for you to, once again, start building structures one at a time until you've covered the entire planet in factories. And now for something a little bit more godly in terms of our strategy. This is the demo that was released for Reus 2. The original Reus was arguably the most successful and recognized game from Abbey Games. I still love Renowned Explorers International Society, and everyone should go play that one as well. But Reus 2 was announced earlier in 2023, and during one of the next fests, we got a chance to try out the demo build. And again, with this being a demo build, what you see may not represent the current version of the game. If you missed the first one, it was kind of a mix between a real-time strategy and a god game, where you need to set up various towns, dictate where resources would go, which would affect the growth of the town, and you have to balance this all within a time frame before kind of your age runs out, and then the game will have calculated your score. With the sequel, developers have surprisingly turned more to the deck building genre rather than the strategy genre for inspirations. The basics are still on display. You'll use your various gods in order to cultivate and enrich the land with various flora, fauna, and minerals. Everything is set up to work in synergy with one another, and this is a major point from the first game. Different resources will behave either by giving out more resources or specific kinds of resources based on what's located either near them or in the same region. So, something can give you a synergy with like bunny rabbits, carrots, and even predators around. Whatever you put in the region will affect the city. Every city when you found it will have kind of a goal or a style to it that will affect what resources it will do best with. So there's something that may gain bonus research for every time you add commerce to the city. Cities will grow, the larger they grow, the more powerful they will become and the more points you earn. Now here's where it gets interesting. While the footage you're seeing is certainly played in real time, the game is actually kind of turn-based. You'll use Aeon as your kind of resource, and every time you place something down, you'll consume a little bit more of it. When you run out of it for that specific age, the age will end. And however much score you've built up across your various cities on the planet will affect your grade for that age. The more you have, the more Aeon you'll have for the next age. And things will kind of grow and evolve based on what you did in the ages prior. And the game kind of boasts like a visual novel. We're going to have tons and tons of endings based on how you build your various planets up and see if you can find them all. As you level up your cities and complete quests, you will also unlock new quote-unquote cards that come in the form of new resources that you can put down, and the resources will always belong to a set in terms of how you'll synergize with them, such as getting a new rock that may boast more materials based on, or more gold, if you put a corresponding gem next to it, and those gems will be part of that set. So like the first game, the entire MO here is synergizing all the resources together. Now that you don't have to worry about the ticking clock, it makes things a little bit more interesting and gives you more room to breathe. With that said, I'm not quite sure just how much variance will be in the gameplay itself, and how will that translate to the stories. If I go down for one ending, will that give me a completely different play experience than going down this other way? But for fans looking for kind of a god game score chaser, there's certainly something here for Reus 2. And I like again how they're making it far more about the planning and the synergizing rather than how fast you can micro your giant titans around on the globe. So if you are interested in this one, be sure to check it out. So with that said, we have two very interesting games worth checking out if you are in the mood for a little bit more strategy in your life. I would like to thank the Desynced developers for giving me a press key, and for Abbey Games for cluing me in to check out their demo during these strategy fests. And if you let me tickle your game for a future video and stream, it does not have to be strategy related, please get in touch. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to do the YouTubing stuff people tell you to do. If you're interested in more of my thoughts on design, check out my books wherever they are sold. Visit our Discord and Patreon and come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where you some of the art and science of games.